Modern Real Estate Practice, page 171, Unit 10 quiz. Number 1. In a real estate transaction, the term fiduciary typically refers to the A. Sale of real property, B. People who give someone else the legal power to act on their behalf, C. Person who has legal power to act on behalf of another, or D. Agent's relationship to the principal. The answer is D. Agent's relationship to the principal. Number 2. The relationship between real estate broker and seller is generally what type of agency? A. Special, B. General, C. Implied, or D. Universal. The answer is A. Special. Number 3. Which statement is true of a real estate broker acting as the agent of the seller? A. The broker is obligated to render loyalty to the seller. B. The broker can disclose confidential information about the seller to a buyer if it increases the likelihood of a sale. C. The broker can agree to a change in price without the seller's approval. Or D. The broker can accept a commission from the buyer without the seller's approval. The answer is A. The broker is obligated to render loyalty to the seller. Number 4. A real estate broker lists a woman's home for sale for $189,500. Later that same day, a man comes into the broker's office and asks for general information about homes for sale in the $130,000 to $140,000 price range, but refuses representation by the broker's company at this time. Based on these facts, which statement is true? A. Both the woman and the man are the broker's customers. B. The woman is the broker's client. The man is a customer. C. The broker owes fiduciary duties to both the woman and the man. Or D. If the man later asks for buyer representation by the broker's firm, he cannot have it because of the firm's earlier agreement with the woman. The answer is B. The woman is the broker's client. The man is a customer. Number 5. In a dual agency situation, a broker may represent both the seller and the buyer in the same transaction if A. The broker informs either the buyer or the seller of this fact. B. The buyer and the seller are related by blood or marriage. C. Both parties consent in writing to the dual agency. Or D. Both parties are represented by attorneys. The answer is C. Both parties consent in writing to the dual agency. Number 6. Which event will terminate an agency in a broker-seller relationship? A. The broker discovers that the market value of the property is such that an adequate commission will not be earned. B. The owner declares personal bankruptcy. C. The owner abandons the property. Or D. The broker appoints brokers to help sell the property. The answer is B. The owner declares personal bankruptcy. Number 7. Designated agency is most likely to occur when A. there is a client-buyer and a customer-seller. B, the seller and the buyer are represented by different companies. C, both the buyer and seller are customers. Or D, the buyer and the seller are represented by the same company. The answer is D. The buyer and the seller are represented by the same company. Number 8, a real estate broker hired by an owner to sell a parcel of real estate must comply with A, the common law of agency in the state in which the property owner lives. B, a prospective buyer's instructions. C, the concept of caveat emptor. Or D, all lawful instructions of the owner. The answer is D, all lawful instructions of the owner. Number 9, which of the following is not a valid reason to terminate an agency relationship? A, the agent found a home for a buyer to purchase and the sale closed. B, the property was condemned. C, the buyer wanted to work with a new agent, but the terms of agency had not yet expired and the current agent did not agree to terminate. Or D, the buyer went bankrupt. The answer is C. The buyer wanted to work with a new agent, but the terms of agency had not yet expired and the current agent did not agree to terminate. Page 172. Number 10. The seller tells his agent in confidence that he must sell fast and may accept less than the list price. The agent tells a buyer the seller will accept up to $5,000 less than the list price, which is true. A, the agent has not violated any agency responsibilities to the seller. B, the agent should have disclosed this information regardless of its accuracy. C, disclosure was improper and possibly illegal, regardless of the agent's motive. Or D, the relationship between the agent and the seller ends automatically if the purchaser submits an offer. The answer is C. Disclosure was improper and possibly illegal, regardless of the agent's motive. Number 11, a buyer who is a client of the broker wants to purchase a house that the broker has listed. Which statement is true? The broker may proceed to write an offer on the property and submit it. B, the broker should refer the buyer to another broker to negotiate the sale. C, the seller and the buyer must be informed of the situation and agree in writing to the brokers representing both of them. Or D, the buyer should not have been shown the house listed by the broker. The answer is C, the seller and the buyer must be informed of the situation and agree in writing to the brokers representing both of them. Number 12, what does the phrase the law of agency is a common law doctrine mean? A, it is a legal doctrine that is not unusual. B, it is not one of the rules of society enacted by legislatures and other governing bodies. C, it is part of a body of law established by tradition and court decisions. Or D, it may not be superseded by statutory law. The answer is C, it is part of a body of law established by tradition and court decisions. Number 13, A broker helps a buyer and a seller with paperwork but does not represent either party. This relationship is A, dual agency. B, prohibited in all states because a broker must always represent one party. C, a transactional brokerage. Or D, a designated agency. The answer is C, a transactional brokerage. Number 14, a real estate associate represents a buyer. At their first meeting, the buyer reveals plans to operate a dog grooming business out of the purchased house. The sales associate did not check the local zoning ordinances to determine in which parts of town such a business could be conducted. Which common law duty did the sales associate violate? A, care. B, obedience. C, loyalty. Or D, disclosure. The answer is A, care. Number 15. A broker tells a buyer, this home has the most beautiful river view. In fact, the view includes the river and the back of a shopping center. Which is true? A, the broker has committed fraud. B, the broker is guilty of negligent misrepresentation. C, the broker is guilty of intentional misrepresentation. Or D, the broker is merely puffing. The answer is D, the broker is merely puffing. Number 16, a real estate broker's responsibility to keep the principal informed of all the facts that might affect a transaction is the duty of A, care. B, disclosure. C, obedience. Or D, accounting. The answer is B, disclosure. Number 17, which of the following is considered dual agency? A, a broker acting for both parties in the same transaction. B, two brokerage companies cooperating with each other. C, a broker representing more than one principal. Or D, a broker listing a property and then after it is relisted with another broker selling the same property. The answer is A, a broker acting for both parties in the same transaction. Number 18. The relationship of broker to client is an agency relationship is that of A, a trustee, B, a subagent, C, a fiduciary, or D, an attorney in fact. The answer is C, a fiduciary. Page 173. Number 19. A real estate broker acting as the agent of the seller, A, must promote and safeguard the seller's best interests. B, can disclose the seller's minimum price. C, should present to the seller only the highest offer for the property. Or D, can accept an offer on behalf of the seller. The answer is A, must promote and safeguard the seller's best interests. And number 20, a broker is permitted to represent both the seller and the buyer in the same transaction when A, the principals are not aware of such action. B, the broker is a sub-agent rather than the agent of the seller. C, commissions are collected from both parties. Or D, both parties have been informed and agree in writing to the dual representation. The answer is D, both parties have been informed and agree in writing to the dual representation. Page 174. Page 175. Unit 11. Client Representation Agreements. Learning objectives. When you have finished reading this unit, you will be able to describe the different types of listing agreements and causes for termination. Describe the listing presentation and the information needed for a listing agreement. Identify and explain the listing agreement terms and the responsibilities of both parties. Describe the types of buyer representation agreements and causes for termination, and define the following key terms. Buyer representation agreement. Comparative market analysis, CMA. Exclusive agency listing. Exclusive buyer representation agreement. Exclusive right to sell listing. Multiple listing service, MLS. Net listing. Open listing. Overview. A variety of contracts are used throughout the typical real estate transaction, including the agreement between a broker and a sales associate, the terms by which the broker makes use of the multiple listing system, the contract that allows the broker to list property for sale, the agreement by which a buyer makes use of the services of a broker, the sales contract that set out the terms of the transaction, and the escrow, title insurance, and other agreements that are required to complete the transaction.